shout out if you're not yelling. Get going. They're going to come out now. Go. Ladies and gentlemen, the writer, screenwriter, and author of the comic series Lost Boys Reign of Frogs, Hans Rodioff. Let them know you're gonna dig it.
What's up, Comic-Con? Yeah, my people.
Alan Frog himself, Jameson Newlander. And the one, the only, you know him, you love him. You want him on stage right now. Corey Feldman. Yeah. You're now part of Corey's video extras on his personal upcoming bio. Okay, you gotta sit down and be quiet for a little while. These are the stars, these are the people they want to see and hear. We'll have you removed. Corey will put a stake in you. All right, let's get started right away. Let's get right to the panel. Let's get to discussion. I want to know, and you do too. This is the third movie. It's a trilogy. We've had a circle completed, you would think. We have comic books. But is this the end of Lost Boys?
It's gonna be a TV series.
Get right in there.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on?
Okay.
Testing.
Is mine on?
Our middle mic is not
Go
working.
directly into it.
There, it's working now.
Let's not do that. This is a graphic novel. Graphic novel.
Let's not get. We won't get too graphic on the
Yeah,
novel.
that's a little too graphic for this novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way this is the end of the road.
Thanks for that awkward opening. Hello.
You were saying there's no way this is the.
Oh, yeah.
This is the end.
There's no way this is the end of the road. I mean, we've years ago, before the tribe was even in existence and everything was sort of wide open, we all got together, Corey Feldman and Jameson and myself and Corey Haim, and we discussed a lot of different ways that things could go in the future. And this is the latest chapter, but it's by no means the last. There's a lot of, you guys will see, there's a lot of places that this story can go, backwards, forwards, all over the place, and you'll see by the end of the movie that it is a kind of end, but it's also a kind of beginning.
The cool thing is that now that the Frog Brothers are back together, there's all sorts of things, all sorts of possibilities from here on in. Because you know, we hate vampires, and yet there's also a little, could be vampire-ish myself. We'll see. You'll see.
Could you be a little more elusive?
I don't know what I'm allowed to give away, and I actually haven't even seen the movie myself. So
You can't give away anything.
Oh, wait, let's go. Maybe we cut this one off. Who saw the end of Lost Boys 2? So you're kind of aware what happens with Jameson.
Yeah.
Well,
not.
and here I'll summarize. In summary, we have basically kind of mapped out 6 films. And the first 3 are now complete. This completes the first trilogy, but we have 3 more kind of in the pipeline that we're kind of thinking, you know, we have some ideas, but it's really up to you guys. And the bottom line is, you are the lifeblood of this franchise, for lack of a better term. So, as long as you don't suck the life out of it, we won't either.
Are there maybe breadcrumbs in this movie that lead us to what the next trilogy might be, or who might be in it?
Corey, any vampire breadcrumbs analogies that you?
Well, I mean, quite honestly, there was. First of all, I'd like to say that this film and the screening tonight, of course, are dedicated to the memory of the great Corey Haim. Very sad that he couldn't be here with us tonight, but it's also very sad that he couldn't be with us for the future of Lost Boys, because as you will see in the film, the Sam Emerson character was not only greatly acknowledged in this film, but we had our own ideas at the time of shooting of how we were going to incorporate that into another film should we do one. And ironically, I had just been on the phone with Haim the night before we shot certain sequences in this film that dealt with where his character is today in the film. And so we were talking about the plans for the future, and you know, Hans and I and the powers that be of Warner Premiere were discussing the future of Sam Emerson's role, and there was a future, but unfortunately that got stopped short. So that was one of the elements that we're going to now have to kind of tinker with. But another character that we kind of been thinking of bringing back was Laddie at some point. And so
It's okay to clap.
there's a few things that we're playing with. I don't want to give too much away, but I think that in answer to your question, you may see some slight hints towards it throughout this film. But certainly, if there were another film, I think we would keep adding back elements from the original that kind of wrap this story up.
And I think, there's the other thing about it is there are, because I'm a huge comic book fan myself, and I love, the one thing that I love about comics is that they allow you to construct things on a lot of different layers. And so, if you guys pay attention, as I know you will, because you guys have minds like mine, you'll see a lot of hidden Easter eggs and stuff like that are really, they're in the movie for you, because they're hidden, they're little secret Easter eggs that sort of exist throughout it. And the only thing that I'll sort of give you as kind of the writing, the overall mythology to kind of look for is remember where the term Lost Boys came from, and kind of what the root of that story is, and then you'll be able to sort of pick up the threads that we've left for you.
There's a bit more lore, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I searched the floor for an hour and a half today. I couldn't find a Frog Brothers action figure. What the heck?
Good question, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, where are the action figures?
Why is it that there is a David action figure from the first Lost Boys, but they never made Frog Brothers action figures? Interesting.
the Frog Brothers, define action. We should have action.
That's right. It should actually say Frog Action Brothers.
Yeah.
I think is what.
Well, you guys put the action in action figures.
Put the action in Frog Action Brothers.
I think it's just my figure that gives action to the brothers.
I think a video game is a
I'll be here all
natural
week,
too, really.
man.
I said I think a video game is a natural too.
A video game would be a very good idea.
Yeah.
I hope the marketing people are listening. Would you guys play a Lost Boys Frog Brothers video game? Would you guys play with Frog Brothers action figures? Would you guys play with me if I looked like an action figure? All right then.